You should use a condom before you listen.
The American dream is dead.
John Lisle, L.A. Lloyd, and Drew Bennett, Beaver Cool Aid.
I was trying to tell you guys that I'm really in need of someone to hold my hand, and then Drew couldn't just leave it at that because his brain works, well, the way it works. And he's thinking of some play on Hold My Hand by Hootie and the Blowfish.
Wow.
And see, this is what happens when you're reaching out, you need something, and what do you get?
But I didn't say anything.
No, well, yeah, but neither one. I said I need somebody to hold my hand, and neither one of you offered. Neither one. Absolutely neither one. Which not to think that I'm special, but just the fact that I would open hand holding to either one of you is a bit of a come down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, look, desperate times.
Match.com's been a little slow this past couple of weeks without us coming in for Beaver Cool Aid last week, I take it.
Well, I'm not hitting that pond a lot.
No.
But I'm just saying at this particular moment in time, okay? It's like that because Tuesday is my day when I see my kids, and for a very short period of time. Tonight it was especially short with my daughter, so that would be the same daughter, by the way, who will be 13 in September.
Oh, boy.
Who was pounding on a chunk of aluminum foil.
Oh, God.
A couple of weeks ago.
Phew.
So right after that last Beaver Cool Aid we did, when Drew, when he wasn't hating on people, was talking about this dude on YouTube or whatever, pounding away and making this perfect aluminum sphere, pounding on aluminum foil, I found my daughter with a chunk of aluminum foil.
See?
I
now,
think
you
she's
talk
listening.
about, if it wasn't for Beaver Cool Aid, I would have just said there's a chunk of aluminum foil. Hey, what are you doing wasting the foil?
Uh-huh.
But instead, I knew it was, and let me be honest, I don't gloss when it comes to my kids. I'm very honest. It was a cube. It was it wasn't even close to being a sphere. It wasn't close to being a ball. It was a cube with hammer marks.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at least I knew what that was because Drew had brought it up.
Yeah.
How wild is that?
She is.
Well, that's
listening.
my question. Did she get it off the internet?
Well,
or
of
did
course she did.
or did she listen to Beaver Cool Aid and do it?
No, I don't let her listen to Beaver Cool Aid.
No.
And if so, then I'd have to beat her because we specifically said ball. And so it was all about being round.
Yeah.
Not a cube, but
That's
the only
true.
reason I knew what that was, and I thought, I'm not for certain this is what it is, but I guarantee you, I felt it.
So she'd gotten it into a pretty good cube, like with pretty good angles. Was she doing that?
Using a regular hammer on it.
Yeah.
So then I went out and I dropped $189 on specific tools
Yeah.
to upright.
It's all in the tools, man.
Liar. And I probably gave her the look. Like,
So it just ended up being kind of a rounded cube, a wrinkled rounded cube of aluminum.
no, it was like if you take a cube and you put a hammer mark on each side. Then what am I going to do? Take her to task? Let me show you how it's done. You're no daughter of mine. Get your
Well, I'm glad that we're on the cutting edge of what the kids are doing.
Yeah, me too.
Because usually I'm thinking, what the hell are you talking about, Drew? Or really another person to hate who's on like the fringe for me? But here was something that you had mentioned that I found on my freaking floor, right above my head right now.
Right.
Pretty wild.
That is really wild. I think she's listening to the podcast personally.
I think she had to.
Oh, she listens to the podcast. She wants to hear what Dad's talking about when he's not talking to her.
It's easy to listen to, right? And if she thinks that, if she knows that you're doing it, I promise you she is going off and listening to this.
Yeah.
Promise.
I think so too.
I don't think so. But
This is the stuff we talk about. And then she feels like she can take it home. So maybe we're doing a good podcast for the kids.
Yeah.
but no, because Lloyd's a part of it.
What was the honey stuff? Maybe she'll bring some honey in.
Mad honey.
Mad honey.
Mad honey.
If you start seeing mad honey on the biscuit next weekend, you know she's listening then.
Yeah, see, there's something there that mad honey on the biscuit. There's something in there that's, I don't know.
She's like, Dad, here's your Kratom.
Red Durst
Here's your Kratom shake and your McMuffin with mad honey.
on the biscuit.
On the biscuit, man. You got to put that
Hey, it's L.A. Lloyd putting mad honey on your biscuit, Austin.
Oh, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
I recognize this because of Beaver Cool Aid.
Well, I'll tell you, there's something else that your 13-year-old is probably following. And that is that Carrie Underwood had 50 stitches in her face. All right? 50 stitches. She had an accident. I don't know all of the details of the accident. I don't think that she's even divulged everything that happened. Like she fell off her porch or something. But she has 50 stitches, had 50 stitches in her face, and she took herself out of the public eye for a while. Did you guys know that?
Yeah.
Because she wasn't touring or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then she gets on Twitter, I guess, and says, I'm really worried about what people are going to think about my face. I don't know if it's going to be the same. And boy, everybody's sort of like, wow, really? Is this going to be like crazy? Is she going to have like
She'll look like
an
Steven
offset
Seagal.
nose,
Yeah.
right? I mean, is she going to,
Ooh.
what's it going to look like? And then she waits and doesn't say anything, no pictures, you know, she's not letting anybody take a picture of her. And then what was it? ACMs in Vegas. And she performs. And she takes a picture of herself right before she performs. And it doesn't look like anything's happened.
Yeah. I was expecting her to come out looking like Kelly Clarkson or something.
Well, at least a modest scar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I couldn't tell anything had happened to her. I mean, it looked exactly the same to me.
What do you
I
think
feel
about
kind
that,
of
man?
left out on this whole thing because I just noticed this the other day.
Yeah.
I read about it the other day. I thought, really?
I was waiting on the photo.
You think she was really scared, or you think that she was, you know, I mean, did she, or was this kind of a, you know, what is Carrie Underwood going to look like?
Well, I know one thing. If her plastic surgeon doesn't get his name out after that, if he did do some miraculous scar covering on, because I couldn't tell anything had been done. I mean, she looked exactly the same. I mean, I didn't see anything different.
How close were you to the screen, Lloyd?
I was pretty close, man. I
Well,
mean,
and here's the other thing, John. Nobody knows where it was supposed to be. Like,
Right.
I don't think she told anyone, hey, it's across my nose. I don't think she said 50 stitches is a lot of stitches, you guys.
that is a lot of
That's a
stitches
lot.
for your face.
Yeah, man, that's a centipede.
It's a lot of stitches for your arm.
Yeah. And it's like, where did it happen? On your jaw or something like that? But she was saying her face. She was like, I'm worried about my face. And it's like, listen,
You were watching, Lloyd, and you were looking for that.
I was totally looking for it. I mean, come on. Shit, yeah. Carrie, I mean, when she sends out a tweet like, I'm really worried about my face, you know, I mean, obviously the curiosity was because she's a beautiful woman. And I'm like, oh, man, this is too bad. This is like, you know, she was sounding like her career was over. But I couldn't see
She
anything.
makes a lot of money. I wonder if they use like those newfangled skin printers and stuff like on her face or whatever.
Maybe
She was one of those Mission Impossible masks.
Yeah, that's right.
It's kind of like they take an airbrush and they airbrush stem cells onto your face, and then it's a, you know, there is no scarring, right? Maybe it was maybe something like that. But I'm telling you,
Wait a minute. You brush stem cells onto your face?
it's called a skin gun. Google it.
No, I'm afraid I'm going to find one upstairs.
We talked about different kinds of skin guns, but this is a medical device.
Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da.
Would have been great if they'd have done the Scooby-Doo ending at the end, you know, just kind of like, I would have got away with it too if it hadn't been for you crazy kids.
Like she
And
pulls her face off at the end. She's got a different face.
Yeah, she at the end. I mean, there it is, and she's Tom Cruise or John Boyd,
Yeah. Shaggy and Scoob get up on the stage with her.
and that's it. It's
That'd
that
be
whole
awesome.
thing. She pulled it off. All I know is that, look, man, something's up with that chick because Tony Romo didn't stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. There's something going on. I'm telling you guys, there's something going on in the bedroom.
I mean, I don't know what the hell it is, but
My wife, I've told people about this before, and they've called me crazy. I'm just telling you something weird going on about Carrie Underwood.
Yeah.
And anyway, I just don't think that you get on Twitter and tease your fans like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just don't know what my face is going to look like. And listen, 50 stitches, good Lord, God bless her. I'm not saying that it didn't happen. I'm not like trying to Alex Jones on Carrie Underwood. But what I am saying is that she kind of, didn't you feel like it was a little bit of a tease, Lloyd?
Oh, I totally did. It was very sensationalized.
With the picture, and she looks totally the same.
Yeah.
Nothing. She doesn't even point out to her fans where the scar is. And it's like, I don't know.
yeah, where's the telestrator?
Yeah.
Right. It's like I kind of wanted to, I don't know. I feel like I don't have all the infos.
I mean, if she'd have dropped her top and had 3 titties or something, then I'd have got a little excited about it. I was like, okay, well, there it is. There's something to be sensationalized about 3 tits.
By the way, the girl
Lloyd
with the
just
3
attached
breasts
the
in Total
chain to the
Recall.
concrete block at the bottom of the pool. Thank you, Lloyd. All right.
The girl with the 3 breasts in Total Recall was really hot.
I can't believe that you got me in there on Carrie. First of all, this may be the only time I've ever mentioned Carrie Underwood in any way, shape, or form. But
you know what I think it is? I think I'm helping you relate to your 13-year-old.
Yeah,
but I don't want you to relate. She's not 13 yet, man. She's 12. That's all right. It doesn't matter because you can't relate because at this age, it doesn't matter what it is. You're just going to get the look.
I would have loved to have seen the look on Lyle's face when his daughter started pounding on that foil, going like,
yeah,
just the look on his face for that first second, just going like,
no,
wow.
but no. I found it on the floor upstairs in the little playroom. And I thought, no crap. I bet you I know exactly what this is.
When I go over to his house, Lloyd, I need to place like little pictures of me around the house.
Yeah.
Like, hide them. Me smiling.
And I said, are you trying to make one of those foil balls? See, I sounded informed. I didn't say, hey, we were just talking about that on Beaver Cool Aid.
Yeah.
I want to say, like, I'm up with all these things. I know about this stuff.
Drew's definitely helping you out.
So
I'm fortunate for you, baby.
But I just think, first of all, there are a couple of things going back to Carrie Underwood, just because I can't leave it yet. Lloyd says she tweets out to all her fans. Does that include you? Did you get a tweet?
Yeah, I saw it. I follow her.
Okay, first of all, you're over 50, man. Give it up.
I follow her.
I don't follow her. It's just in the news. I mean, anybody knows.
Yeah, I know, but Lloyd got a tweet.
Yeah, I got a tweet.
Part of her, I don't know, the following.
I'm a fan.
So that's when it really hits you. And he's watching to see what's wrong with her face or if he can tell.
Mm-hmm.
Have you reached out to her, Lloyd, and told her that you hope she gets to feeling better? Because then that's stepping over.
I haven't quite gone that far yet, but Okay,
to follow her. Just don't talk. Just don't reach.
No,
out.
I'm more of a.
When you tweet, the problem is you can't send photos because you need to send one, and you're like scarred up everywhere.
Like, hey, Carrie, I got this mole on my nose. Can you give me some pointers how to get rid of this thing? Because you did an amazing job of those 50 stitches. You don't look like Frankenstein at all.
With half an inch of base.
Yeah.
No, okay, there's one thing on the kid. That's what I wanted to know. And so you answered that question for me. Thank you, Lloyd.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that.
Well,
I mean, maybe she looks a little different. Like if you look at the pictures on the internet, I don't know. She was crying too. It's hard to see.
Well, frankly, once again, I don't like going through all this stuff, but these are people that don't really associate with the masses that much. And so much of their image is built through social media.
Yeah.
And really reaching out to people. You got to think about when you have a concert, let's say, and there's 18,000 people. Hey, that's super. But you can tweet and people like Lloyd and millions of other people, millions, get this. So this becomes your extended family.
I'm right in there.
First way.
I wouldn't want to live that way.
You're sharing with these millions of people. And so this is a big moment for you.
Like, I'm proud that I have like 4,000 people on Twitter. I don't want it to get much bigger than that.
4,000, Lloyd.
Yeah, I'm behind you.
Better start slapping that fanning.
The reason that I got a bunch of new followers today is I went to see Shinedown in San Antonio, the beautiful Tobin Center. Interviewed Brent Smith, the lead vocalist, and tweeted out a photo of he and I. And then today he was like, hey, thank you, L.A. Lloyd. And all of his followers all of a sudden started coming on to the L.A. Lloyd train. So you see how it kind of works. It's, you gotta get the ones who's got the big following. And as long as you give them a at Brent Smith and at Shinedown, and then all of a sudden they just come out of the water. And then you got followers.
Everybody. Next thing you know, everyone's atting everybody else.
Yeah.
And everyone can be behind you for the triumphant removal of the mole. Great.
Prayers, thoughts, and prayers, Lloyd.
Yeah, there'll be lots of thoughts and prayers for my mole. So I love it. Tobin Center, though, man, what a great venue, Lisle. I mean, that was my first time there. I got to tell you, that was probably the best and classiest venue I've ever been to in San Antonio. It's pretty nice. I'm impressed.
Well, it is the best. It's all designed to be the best.
Wow.
And acoustically perfect. And that floor moves,
Oh, it does?
Mm-hmm.
Greg Popovich designed it.
Yeah.
He did it.
I watch basketball a little bit. I love that guy. I would vote for him for president. I think anybody that spends any time watching Greg Popovich loves him. Am I wrong about that? Isn't he one of the greatest coaches of all time?
Well, yeah, I bet he's been getting a lot of blowback, here from the conservatives that want him just to stick to basketball. As always, it doesn't matter who you are.
I mean, I can't think of another franchise that has had a run like the Spurs. I mean, you got maybe Yankees of the 70s, maybe, Belichick, obviously, and his crew. But outside of Pop, man, I mean, I can't think of a franchise that just had an amazing run. Either won it or was at least pretty damn close in the hunt to getting it all. So, I mean, he goes down as one of the greatest coaches of any franchise in sports history, as far as I'm concerned.
I think so, too.
Well, you're in the playoffs for 21 straight seasons. That's pretty big.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's huge.
That's ridiculous.
I mean,
he has some good players, but good Lord.
But it's not just that. Are you talking about, Drew, the fact that Popovich speaks his mind about things that have nothing to do with basketball?
Well, no. I mean, the first thing that I'm talking about is that I appreciate his fundamentals of basketball, and I think that the Spurs have been consistently more of a team in the NBA than perhaps other franchises that rely on one or two players.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And so I like Greg Popovich for that reason, because I think he's a good coach. And because I think he's a good coach, I think he probably has, maybe perhaps some good ideas on some other things. In other words, I would listen to him because he's a coach. And so, it doesn't really bother me whether I agree with him or not that he gets up. I think what people think of, is that, look, if you're a public figure like an actor or an athlete, you need to shut your mouth when it comes to politics, because you have a fan base that's really, really big. You could influence people one way or the other based upon some of your misguided or incorrect thoughts about things, or, hey, maybe you're right. You're just going to cause a problem. And I think people frown upon that. I don't really care. If you get up on the mic, and you're a coach and everybody listens to you and you talk about how much you hate Trump.
But what if the tables were turned and he was pro-Trump? How would you feel about it then? Because, I mean, we all agree with him.
Not one way or the other. I really wouldn't.
I agree with him. But, if he's up there and he was pumping Trump like Sean Hannity, I'd be like, damn, Pop, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Well, that's what I'm saying, Lloyd. I mean, that's your opinion. I mean, there's plenty of other people that are Spurs fans that would listen to that and go, hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, America.
But so my point is that for me, I would listen to that and go, okay, well, who cares? I don't care what Greg Popovich has to say.
Well, that's wild that you would say that, Drew, because Austin couldn't care less about the Spurs.
That is true.
Collectively, and you're an hour up the freeway. It doesn't matter.
That's too bad. I've driven down for Spurs games. And I love the Spurs.
Well, that's you. Yeah. But I mean, but overall, no. I mean, how much coverage did the Spurs get in the Statesman all the time?
Well, I was getting ready to jump in the first year that I moved to San Antonio, and they won the championship that year. And I came back home to Austin. I was so excited, because I'd become a Spurs fan, and I kind of got sucked into it because I really wasn't into the NBA at all until I moved to San Antonio, and you just see it everywhere, and you can't help but being a Spurs fan. So I'm like, all gung-ho coming back to Austin to spread the Spurs love, and I'm flipping through the Statesman after they'd won the championship. I think it's like on page 3 or 4. That's it? That's all the coverage they get? They could care less about it.
Well, but I mean, are we all friends? You know, is there just like this lovey-dovey relationship between Austin and San Antonio?
No, it's not that. It's just
drive down
it's
kind of
like
the Spurs.
Well, it's kind of like in for our newspaper, Aggies always give them crap because they feel like UT gets more run than A&M. But when you have a professional team that's, within an hour or so of your town, that's a big deal. And you share so much population. I think that you cover it that way. But the Spurs will tell you, you don't sell season ticket packages to people in Austin.
I think if it was like Golden State, some sort of like, if it wasn't the San Antonio Spurs, if it was the Central Texas Rebels, you'd get more people.
And then where's Kawhi going?
I don't know. No one knows.
Where's Kawhi going? That's the big question.
Well, is he going to be here? Are they going to trade him? I mean, are they going to smooth everything out? Both camps.
I hope
one
so.
Doesn't know.
I hope he does stay.
But it's just one of those things where you think, well, maybe now the Spurs want to offer him the Supermax contract, which would have been $219 million for 5 years. Just saying that.
I love it.
$219 million for 5 years. Hell,
like
he made $20 million this year for not playing.
Why didn't he play?
He was injured.
He has a situation, and he played in only 9 games this season. And eventually was cleared by by the Spurs medical team.
Right.
But he had his own medical team, and supposedly they weren't clearing him. He has tendinopathy, but at the same time, Tony Parker had actually torn things. I mean, much more of a severe situation involving the same part of the body, and he's come back and played.
I mean, Ginobili's been on fire leading up to the playoffs. I mean, this guy is...
But, we're not going to do anything because we don't have enough firepower.
Right.
Yeah, Ginobili's 40. He's an old 40 man.
40 years old.
Yeah, God. I was thinking about that today. I always do that now. I look back and go, yeah, I remember when I was 40 and thought I was getting a little long in the tooth. It's like...
Yeah.
It just makes me laugh now. I mean, really? Are you crazy, man?
So, Lyle, let me ask you. You had a daughter that's about to that's already done what mine's about to do, and that's turn 18. So she, I don't know, man. It's a she's legally an adult now, and but she still seems like a little girl. And I got to tell you, I was putting the a little montage slideshow today at work for a few minutes there. I swear I was a blubbering mess. I mean, it was every time somebody walked by my window in my office, I had to turn around. I'm just like freaking the water's flowing. I'm just like, what is up with me? I have all of a sudden turned into a woman just blubbering all over myself. So I don't know if it hits you.
A background song? Is there a background song?
No, I didn't really do I haven't got that
House
far
of
yet.
Pooh Corner.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. I was just a mess. So I was just wondering if it just hits you emotionally like that when, you see your kids go through school and they're about to graduate, and man, it's just, it hit me pretty hard, I'm happy to
pretty hard when you write that last tuition check. I can tell you that.
That's going to hurt too. But I didn't know.
Finally get the last one.
So, I had a couple of guys walk by. I was like, dude, you okay? Yeah, I'm fine, man. It's good. Just got some water. It's allergies. All right.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because there's a lot goes into parenting, and that's your first child.
Yeah.
Sure, there's a lot there.
See what you have to look forward to, Drew?
I mean, that moment for me was, high school graduation was 20 years ago for her, so.
I think you get little heartbreaks early on. I don't think it ever stops, right? Just gets maybe more intense.
It changes, you worry about people less. But at that point, when they're 18, then you look back on everything and, it's a nice moment, but then wait until you see whatever she drags home from whatever college she decides to go to. Man, that's a special moment.
Then weddings. And
I mean, right now it's still, I can't believe Daddy's little girl's grown up.
Yeah.
Pretty soon she'll be at the age of people and you'll say, hey, I remember what I used to do at that age.
Yeah.
And now it's going to all come back to slap you in the ass, pal.
She'll probably just go like, I'm glad you don't call me Opie anymore.
No, I'm saying, you went, when you went Trump on all these different women when you were young. And so now, look what's going to happen.
Oh, you're going to pay
your
for
daughter out there to become someone's plaything.
Yeah. Thanks. That makes me feel a lot better.
You bet. Anytime, Lloyd.
What friends are for.
Yeah, my daughter is going to be about 5'1", and
she's
too
like
small.
She's what, 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you already know she's going to be 5'1", huh?
Well, she's tiny. I mean, she's extremely short, and her grandmother is like that height.
Dude, you just need to feed her more processed food.
We're gonna get her legs stretched out. But I got her in karate.
I've seen those photos, man. I'm impressed.
Well, I just want her to be able to take care of herself.
Because you think she's going to be small.
Well, and I've just been saying, listen, you don't need a man. You go and do everything your own.
Right.
You don't need any
Well, my daughter's like 5'1". The 37-year-old, we put her in karate. She was up to brown belt. Should have been black. She didn't like getting hit in the face when it finally got to that point.
Who does? It's like taking a basketball to the nose. The next thing you know, you got a big old mole growing on it.
You're a young girl and you're getting to be a young woman and you say, I don't like getting hit in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah, just ask Carrie Underwood.
Really.
Ow, baby.
50 stitches.
Brought it back around, man. That's 50 stitches. She ought to sing that song.
Yeah.
That sounds like a ballad. That sounds like something Dolly Parton would write for her.
50 stitches is like,
I thought
that's a
it was
good album
42
name.
stitches.
50 stitches.
50.
50 stitches.
Somewhere.
50 stitches for all my bitches. I mean, come on, let's bring it.
Oh, wait a minute. This isn't some Jay-Z song.
50 stitches for all my bitches.
Well, I could see it as a heartbreaking tune about trying to hide the hurt.
Well, she wrote that song Before He Cheats where she takes the Louisville Slugger to the headlights and the knife to his leather seats and carves him up because he cheats. So that's what I'm thinking. It's like all of a sudden it's like, all right, you fucked up my truck. I'm going to fuck up your face. Here it comes. 50 stitches for my bitches.
Hey, wait a minute. Did you just say cut up leather sheets?
No, wait, leather seats. His leather seats in the truck.
I'm going, wow, that doesn't sound comfortable, man.
She's an American Idol.
Well, I got to say one thing. Since you brought up American Idol, I don't like to shit on anybody in our business that's successful. I really don't, because we all have just made shit money our entire lives, pretty much, doing radio. No. Bobby Bones is a mentor for some of the singers on American Idol, right? And so I see this blurb today that ABC is all in the Bobby Bones business. Like they're going to start creating country television for Bobby Bones. And I'm like, I know this guy, I work with him here in Austin, but man, some people just get the right fucking breaks. And I'm not saying he doesn't work hard, but fuck Lyle, you did mornings for 30 years or more. I ain't seen you on Idol, man, and you're a hard worker. So some people just get the fucking break. So God bless him.
The way it is that you get that little, it's like when you're boating and you're down the river and you hit that little current. Now everybody gets it. Jimmy Kimmel got it big time.
Yeah, you're right.
Jimmy worked hard, though, and he did everything from part-time radio to Comedy Central and then on to...
everybody's got that. So Bobby Bones, it is, I guess they can check enough boxes and it all works for him.
Yeah, there it is. So
I think what Lloyd's saying is that he doesn't understand it.
He wanted to do what Ryan Seacrest did. They already had a top 40 guy, so they created a country version. And that, you get enough people that dropped you on 100 radio stations the first weekend that you go syndicated, it works a little bit easier than a guy like me who's been doing it for 18 years and doesn't even have 50 radio stations. So it's tough.
The mole, Lloyd. It's the mole.
Is that what it is? Fuck.
Yeah, that's it.
Here's the musician equivalent. Yeah, I'm in a band. There's a lot of good stuff out there too that doesn't get played on the radio.
Yeah, well, that's me. I'm the old guy, man. I'm fucking the bass player in Foghat at this point.
Oh no, you're in a band that sounds like Foghat.
Yeah, that's it. I'm in a Foghat tribute band.
Threw in the bass player in a Foghat tribute band. Right. Yeah. I got you, man. Well, it's just the way things are sometimes. I mean, you work hard, you work for a long time, and everybody has decisions you can look back and decisions you make, and sometimes you don't always go for the business decision.
Right.
For something that's going to aid your career, you take other decisions, you make other decisions, and that's all right. I mean, somebody has to do it.
Yeah.
One way or the other, like Carson Daly. I mean, once upon a time, somebody had to do it, so they pegged these people.
Yeah. Well,
I can figure out why Ryan Seacrest, why people like him. I feel like I get his formula. I can get Carson. I feel like I understand why people like Carson. But what I don't understand is Bobby Shtick. I've listened to his show. Sure, he's a nice guy. I'm not like getting on here to, join on the shitting on Bobby Bones that Lloyd brought up.
I'm not shitting on him. I just brought up a topic to discuss.
I'm just saying, I've listened to him, and I don't. The first time I heard him, I wasn't like, oh yeah.
My sister and mother love him. I mean, every time I'm home in North Carolina, that's all I hear is Bobby Bones. They love him. Do you know Bobby Bones? Yeah, I know him.
Well, it reminds us of that song by our band that no one knows about, PKM. It don't take much.
That's right, to keep me happy.
Sometimes that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And so you just, but going back to that when Don Imus recently retired, he basically said, well, I really think I'm the greatest who's ever been on the radio, the greatest ever.
Yeah, but he finally clumped Howard Stern, and there's been this big war, I thought, for all these years. Supposedly now, all of a sudden, Imus is on the Stern bandwagon. It's like, oh, yeah, Stern's one of the 5 top greatest broadcasters of all time.
I don't know. Well, all I know is the dude saying goodbye and saying, I'm the best it's ever been on the radio.
Well, I mean, our listeners probably don't know some of these legendary jocks that we know, but I would listen to Larry Lujack over Don Imus any day.
Yeah.
Any day.
Well, fuck, Lisle just did the best impersonation I've ever heard. I mean, hell, Lisle, maybe you should pick up where he left off. Go get you a ranch out in Arizona.
Thinks my Don Imus impression is awful.
Get a big cowboy hat.
Great. Get you a cowboy hat, move out to, he's selling his ranch, You could buy the ranch, move out there in Arizona. And
I was good. Fred's no longer able to help me out. Oh.
You could get kids out there, help them out. Non-profit. It's all non-profit, You could just.
Greatest. Yeah.
You can invite Scott Shannon out there to hang out with you.
Good.
Hey, look, man, I need a gig fast, so contact Beaver Cool Aid.
Yeah.
I need a gig fast. And it doesn't have to be an easy gig, like going and hang out in a room and talking to yourself.
Yeah. Lisle needs a gig, and we need a sponsor. So that's all we're asking for this week.
We need a sponsor. I can tell you that right now. I need a sponsor. I need a sponsor. No, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm telling you. There are a lot of things that federal prison's looking better and better all the time. Say, what's really the downside to that?
You could probably get laid there.
You'll be a convicted felon. Who cares? I'm 60. It's like when you're almost 60, it's like being a convicted felon anyhow. Oh, see, you're almost 59, which means you're not getting anything.
Do you think that people actually do that they deliberately get arrested? Something really terrible.
Well, think about it, man. You've got food.
Well, you got a place to live.
Right.
You're not paying taxes. You got meals to eat.
Especially if you're homeless, man.
Is there a small percentage of the population who get up into their 60s and do terrible things just to be able to retire?
Would you rather be on the street homeless, or would you rather be in a prison?
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. Do I forfeit my Social Security? I don't think I do I? I need to do more research into this. Now I just kind of throw it out there and people think I'm joking. I go, no, not really.
Get it. Don't you get it in some sort of a bank account?
It seems to me, I don't default on that. I haven't defrauded anybody. I just got to figure out the right crime to commit.
Well, maybe you should rob a bank. That way you wouldn't be a lifer. You'd only be in there 7 years, and then you're probably up for parole in 3. So you could
robbery is a big deal. So you might get
the full 7.
No, I would totally be white collar, man. You got to make sure you get your federal time.
He's going to launder some money. Launder some money then.
Okay, so you're not going to go and point a gun at anybody at a bank. You're going to launder.
Well, he
money.
could get shot.
I'm going to do something where I have it worked out that I'm having fun while I'm doing it before I get busted.
How about insurance? You could
insurance fraud.
Yeah, do some insurance fraud. Maybe write some bad checks. You could probably get about 4 or 5 years for a bad check.
And then I'm in prison, and then I have 40, 50 stitches.
Oh yeah,
from my bitches. Yeah.
Yeah, and then if you do a good job, and they end up coming in there like, hey, we're gonna let you out early. You're gonna have to kill somebody in the jail or something. You know what I mean? Just to stay there.
Well, I tell you what I'll do. I'm gonna get me a little pick, start digging my way out, and then I'll meet you on the beach when we're about 80, and we can pretend that we're in the Shawshank Redemption and live out the rest of our days there on the coast, fishing and looking at young girls.
Will you hold my hand then?
Yeah, I'll hold your hand then.
Hey, are you getting a mole removed?
Only if I can get Carrie Underwood's surgeon, man. I gotta get it done right. You gotta
get it whacked, or you ain't getting those affiliates.
Yeah, I know.
Are you worried about what your face is going to look like afterwards?
Yeah, that's what I think it is. It's going to throw the whole balance.
Well, we were having dinner tonight. My kids were making guacamole jokes, and I was like, all right, that's enough of that.
Wow, really? That's brutal.
Well, that's what kids do. Your time's coming, Drew. They beat the hell out of you. They beat you senseless, especially if they can find the soft underbelly somewhere. Then they'll go right after it.
They will find your most gullible and easy place to hit, man. They'll go for it.
Ben's got a mole. Just a pretty good size.
Yeah.
I don't know. What would it be? The size of an eraser head?
Wow, that's kind of
flat.
Big. Yeah.
It's flat and it's on the inside of his ass crack. And so I'm using
once again, we're talking about Drew's child. Okay.
That's my kind of my
yeah, but
go-to.
you got to watch because just this will get you busted.
Yeah.
That's my go-to for when he's older. Guess what? You have a mole on the crack of your butt.
Mole in an area like that without getting arrested, Drew.
You get a mole on the crack of your butt, and your grandmother used to try to wipe it because she thought it was poop, but it's a mole.
It's a mole.
Wow.
And you mentioned it on this kind of forum, which is the same thing as when the guy at the drugstore turns you in because you got some naked photos of your 6-month-old.
Right.
Oh boy.
See, so this is what it is.
Well, I think that brings us into another conversation.
You get to go and do your federal trip. And so you don't have to put up with raising those little kids all that time. You come out and the hard work's been done.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
And you got a great backhand. Screw you. You just took my gig.
That's a great idea. I got to get out of here. I'll just commit a crime.
Yeah. They're going to stick you in there with Jared the Subway guy. It's like, hey, man, you're not going to like it here, man. There's too many footlongs.
He's trying to get out. You guys hear about that? He's trying to get out.
Yeah, it's too many footlongs here. Serving up way too many footlongs.
Where's my gong, man?
Hey, he told the joke 3 times.
It took 3 times, man.
I know.
Come on.
Again and again. And it's okay. Wasn't this already worked a long time ago?
Hey, it's like it's cranking a car, right?
Footlong.
Did I mention footlong?
Oh, man.
That's good shit. That's good comedy. Good comedy right there.
I will go to your party and I will tear it up.
Really? Beaver Cool Aid
Hit it hard.
with Lisle, L.A. Lloyd, and Drew.
Make it like a man.
So go ahead, stick your head up your ass.